Call a spade a spade. Don't excuse it. Don't excuse it. Whatever you excuse, you permit. So when you're excusing the procrastination, you're permitting it to continue. Hello everyone, how are we doing? Welcome to Future Fit, another episode of Future Fit, and it's great to be here today. We have probably 2 more to go this year. Yeah, we've got 2 more to go. So next week and the week after. So the week after, which is Boxing Day, is our last broadcast of Future Fit this year. Next week is going to be awesome. Next week is going to be exciting. It's a Christmas special. We've got Judith Baker. Some of you will remember Judith Baker. She joined us a few weeks ago and she does keynote concerts. And some of you were eager to experience that. So we're going to bring Judith back and she's going to have a keynote concert with us. We're going to have some lovely sing-along Christmas carols as well. And like I said last week, I've got a surprise for you, which I'll be telling you about later. But before all of that, today we want to talk about something that is really important, something that is really, serious. We want to talk about procrastination, because I know that procrastination is something that many people struggle with. If we're all going to be honest, actually, I would say at some point or the other, we all struggle with procrastination, some perhaps more than others, but we all struggle with procrastination from time to time. So today I thought it would be nice, as we're coming to the end of the year, looking forward to 2021. Most of us can't wait to get 2020 out of the way. Looking forward to 2021 to deal with this all-important topic of procrastination and hopefully help in some way to get you overcome it. To overcome it. So how do you know you're procrastinating in the first place? I think it's pretty obvious, but one sign would be if you keep hitting snooze when that task pops up on your calendar, or you keep deferring for a week. You know, you can postpone for a week or a day and you keep postponing. If you find that you keep doing that, then you're procrastinating on that task. Or if it's been on your to-do list for a week, it's been on your to-do list for a week, it's still not been done, then chances are you are procrastinating. It's not the case that you don't have the time to do it. Chances are you are procrastinating on that task. Or if every time you want to do it, you find a distraction. Okay, so it's on your to-do list because you know it's important, you know it's something you need to do, and then you're going through your list and you're ticking on the task and you get to this particular task, and that is when you need to make yourself a cup of coffee, or that's when suddenly you feel like I need to go for a walk and clear my head. Every time you think about doing that task, you come up with something else to do. You are procrastinating. You're procrastinating. You might convince yourself, oh, let me just do something else that's going to take less time and get that quickly out of the way. Then I'll face it. And you just keep doing that. And it keeps going to the bottom of the list day after day. You are procrastinating. So today we want to look at what we can do to help us overcome procrastination, because it certainly is a dream killer. It does steal dreams. In fact, it kills dreams, because when we have a dream, something that we're working towards, a goal that we want to achieve, it's what we do every day that is going to determine whether we achieve that goal or not, isn't it? John Maxwell says the secret of your success is found in your daily agenda. So we have this big goal. We might have a very big plan, a very robust plan, detailed plan, and all of that is in place, but it's actually what you do every day that determines your success. So if every day you're procrastinating on something you know you should be doing, then clearly that's going to affect the achievement of your goal or your dream. So it's a dream killer. It has so many negative consequences that I think we need to bear in mind, because hopefully that will help us to be more intentional and more deliberate and more resolute in overcoming it. So one is it will lead to missed opportunities. Why? Because the law of diminishing intent will set in. What's the law of diminishing intent? The law of diminishing intent says the longer you leave something undone that you know you ought to do, the greater the chances that you will never do it. So the longer you leave something undone that you know you need to do, the greater the chances that you will never do it. So that's the law of diminishing intent. You start off with a great intention, you don't do it, the next day you don't do it, it just continues to diminish until you just don't do it at all. So when you think about that and then you play it out to the full, what that's going to do is lead to missed opportunities, because what that means is when that opportunity arises, say for instance, you know you need to rehearse, you need to practice. If you're an artist, you need to practice on your guitar, you need to practice your keyboard, you need to do your scales as a singer, or you need to hand in a project on a particular day and you procrastinated and procrastinated and you didn't get it done. Just bottom line is, when the opportunity arises that you can seize, you're not going to be ready. You're not going to be ready because you have delayed in making the preparation. You know, they say when you wait for opportunity to knock before you start to prepare, it's already too late. So yeah, procrastinating will definitely lead to missed opportunities, because when that opportunity knocks, and it will knock, you just won't be ready when the opportunity presents itself. But something else it does is it causes stress and anxiety, because when you think about it, if you procrastinate on doing something, right, what will happen, chances are, and especially if it's something you have to do. So let's say, for instance, it's a task that you need to perform at work or something you need to do at work. Um, Chances are you have to do it. Maybe you need to submit a report, or you need to, whatever it is. So what you're going to do is you're going to give yourself less time to do it. And you're going to be stressed out. When you finally come to doing it, you're going to be stressed out, because whereas you could have given yourself maybe a week or a month to do it, now you have only days. If you're a student, think about exams. We all do that. You know, we know that exam day is coming, but we wait and wait and wait until maybe a few weeks for some of us before we start to prepare for exams. And what happens? You get stressed out. You get stressed out, you feel overwhelmed, you get anxious about the whole situation. So it could actually affect your health. Procrastinating could actually affect your health. The other negative consequence of procrastinating is that it leads to mediocrity. It leads to mediocrity and a lack of self-confidence. Because again, because you have not put in the work when you needed to put in the work, and you have had to do it very quickly, maybe because you've lost time, then you could end up doing a shoddy job. So then you say to yourself, you're not good enough. Okay, so again, using the example of maybe a student in school working towards getting a particular set of grades, or you as an employee working towards submitting a proposal for or a report or something, or as a business owner, you need to submit a proposal to get a contract, and there's a deadline for it. And because you did not start on time, you had to rush to do it. You're not going to give your best, bottom line. You're not going to give your best. And so what that will result in is you doing a mediocre job. And then that will consequently lead to you lacking confidence and self-esteem, because you're going to look at what you've produced. It's not good enough. Maybe you end up not getting the contract. Maybe you end up getting really poor grades. And inevitably, that's going to make you feel bad about yourself. And you're going to feel like maybe it's because you're not good enough, and it's because you're not worthy. And then you go into all that emotion of self-judgment, and all that affects our performance. So whereas you could be a high performer, you become a mediocre performer, not because you lack ability, but just because you did not give yourself the chance to succeed because of procrastinating. So that is another, and we all know how powerful self-esteem is. You can never consistently outperform your self-esteem. So it's important that we always give our best, so we know that we've done the best that we could. So we can take pride in our work, because that will boost confidence, that will boost our self-esteem. So those are four consequences of procrastinating that I hope you will think about, that will help you or strengthen your resolve, like I say, to want to deal with it. So let's talk about how we deal with procrastination. You see, because I've read lots of articles and blogs and things, content of people writing about procrastination, because it's such a big topic, isn't it? It's such a big topic. And quite often I will see people say things like, just get on with it. just get on with it, or remind yourself how important the task is. Or they say you're procrastinating because you don't know how important the task is. And I question that, because I don't know about you, but for me, when I find myself procrastinating, somebody telling me just get on with it is not going to help me. I know I need to just get on with it. I know. And I know that it is important for me to get on with it. That's why it's on my to-do list in the first place. So I know the importance of whatever it is I want to do. It could be to prepare that lesson. It could be to record that video. Whatever it is I know I need to do, I know the importance of it. That's why it's on my to-do list in the first place. So again, sharing from my own personal experience as well, I'm going to share with you just a few thoughts, actually more than a few, they're 10. I hope I'll be able to go through all 10. Some I will dwell in more than others, but I will at least hit all 10. So 10 tips I think that will really help when we find ourselves procrastinating. The first thing I will say is admit it. Admit it. Admit that you are actually procrastinating. Call a spade a spade. Don't excuse it. Don't excuse it. Whatever you excuse, you permit. So when you're excusing the procrastination, you're permitting it to continue. So don't say, oh, it's because I haven't had time. Don't say, oh, it's because this person hasn't been available to help me. Whatever reason you're giving for why you haven't done what you know you need to do, just stop it and just admit I'm procrastinating. So sometimes it could start off as a reason, So somebody's asked me that question before. What's the difference between a reason and an excuse? And I said, most excuses start off as a reason. So there might be a genuine reason why you didn't do it yesterday and why you didn't do it today. But if at the end of the week, something you put as priority, because when we're doing our to-do list, we go in order of priority, don't we? We say, number one, this is really important. And of course, we always have to distinguish between urgent and important. Some things could be urgent, screaming for your attention, doesn't mean it's important. So we have to learn how to distinguish between urgent and important. So you have put that task at the top of your to-do list, saying this is important for me to do. So if at the end of a week, you're still finding, in quote, reasons why you haven't done it, please, they are just excuses now. They're just excuses. So that's the first thing you need to do. Admitting a problem is halfway to solving it. So admit that you are procrastinating. Don't blame somebody else. Don't excuse it. Just admit it. Number two, and this one is really big. This one is really, really important. For me, anyway, this is really important because, you see, our perception is our reality. Our perception is our reality. And quite often when we're procrastinating on things, it's because of our perception. It's because of how we're looking at that thing. So let me explain what I mean. Most people will have maybe a misconception of the process of that task. Okay? And that is your perception and that is your reality. So you might think, oh, it's going to take me forever to prepare this report. It's going to take me forever to prepare this lesson, to prepare this proposal, or it's difficult. So in your mind, you're telling yourself it's difficult. Oh, it's difficult. It's going to be challenging. Oh, so you're looking at the process and you're telling yourself all these things. And most of the time they're misconceptions, because what I find is, again, that idea of it's going to take too long, I found before I actually began to call a spade and really began to deal with procrastination in my life, this idea of it will take too long is one reason I know I used to procrastinate. Because you've heard me say time and time again, I'm a goal-oriented person. I love to achieve. So I love that feeling of ticking things off my to-do list. Yep, done, yep, done, yep, done. So when I come upon a task that I know is going to take a good few hours, right? Whether it's in my law practice, maybe it's a commercial lease matter. I have to read a 34-page lease and advise the client on it. And I'm like, oh, this is going to take forever because I need to slow down and think about what I'm doing and really focus. And I just want to be on the go. I just want to look at my list at the end of the day and go, woo, I ticked off 10 things. So that thought is preventing me from tackling that task because I'm thinking it's going to take too long. And so whenever I come to it, I put it at the bottom of, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. First thing tomorrow, I'll do it. And then first thing comes tomorrow, and I say, actually, let me just do all the little things that are going to take me 5 minutes and just get those out of the way. Then I'll do it. Another day is gone. And I just keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on, keeping on doing that until almost 2 weeks is gone and I haven't done it. So that could be the reason for the procrastination. Another misconception or perception could be that on the outcome. So this time it's not about the process. It's not about you thinking it's going to take too long, it's going to be too difficult, or it's going to be too tasking. It's you thinking about the outcome and you dreading the outcome. So you might think, oh, well, if I pick up the phone and make this call to this prospective client, they're going to say no to my proposal. And none of us like disappointments. We were talking about disappointments last week. So none of us like that feeling of rejection. None of us like that feeling of hearing no. So because you're dreading hearing no, you're going to procrastinate on picking up the phone. So I said, this is key. This is really, really important. Really, really important. You need to identify the reason, the real reason for your procrastination. The real reason, not the idea of I don't have the time, or this idea of I'm busy, or whatever it is you've been telling yourself. You need to go past that and really, really think about the real reason you're procrastinating. And sometimes this is where a coach comes in handy, because a coach is going to help you see what you cannot see, because you cannot see the picture when you're in the frame. So a coach with trained ears and trained eyes, asking you inquisitive questions and hearing your answers, are going to help you identify those things that are operating in your subconscious, because we live life out of our subconscious mind. We really do. One of my very favorite quotes, and I'm sure most of you have heard me say it time and time again, is by Carl Jung. And it says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And so what coaching does is it helps you make the unconscious conscious. It raises the level of your conscious awareness. So you become aware of those beliefs, those things that are dictating and actually leading your life that you're not aware of. You become aware of them. You become aware of those beliefs, those paradigms that you have that is leading your life and dictating how you're living your life. You become aware of them so you can change them if you need to change them, because most of us live life out of a programmed mind. And so if your mind is programmed, it's programmed. You might not even be aware that it's programmed. So so having a good coach will really help you deal with this issue of getting to the real root of the problem, why you're procrastinating. Because if you don't get to the real root, you're going to be firefighting. You're going to be doing this just get on with it stuff that doesn't help. You're going to be trying to do mind over matter that doesn't really work long term. So I can't reiterate enough. Get to the real nitty-gritty of the problem. What is it that you're dreading? What is it that you're afraid of that is making you procrastinate? Let me say the real reason you're procrastinating is because you think it's going to take too long, okay? So what you might want to do then is chunk up the task into smaller chunks. So me, for example, procrastinating about reading a 34-page list, I can just say to myself, okay, tomorrow I'm going to read pages 1 to 5. That is easier for my brain to accept. That is easier for my mind to accept. So tomorrow I read pages 1 to 5. The next day I read pages 6 to 10. Guess what? After a few days, I would have finished reading the whole list, rather than me saying to myself, oh, 38-page list, okay, I'll start tomorrow, and then 2 weeks later, I haven't even read page 1. But I will only do that if I recognize the real reason I'm procrastinating is because I'm dreading how long it's going to take me. Or if you think it's going to be too difficult for you, then what can you do about that? Is there help that you can solicit? Can you get somebody to help you? Or if you're dreading the outcome, then you need to ask yourself, why are you dreading that outcome? Is it really true that that's the outcome you're going to get? How do you know the outcome you're going to get if you haven't tried? So let me share the story with you. I think maybe about a couple of years ago, this was when I was still very active in my law practice. I needed to, not 2 years ago now, probably about 3 years ago. So I needed to ask another solicitor for a favor. Okay, so there was a lenders panel I needed to get onto in order for me to act for a client. And I was just, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then I said to myself, you know what? You're procrastinating, because now the broker is calling me saying, you need to get on this panel, or we're going to take the matter somewhere else, because he's now delaying the release of the mortgage offer and all of that business. So I just got to the point, I just had to say, okay, you just have to do it. And I picked up the phone and called the guy and said, this is what I need from you to be able to get into this panel. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll get my secretary to send it to you. Within 24 hours, that problem had been sorted. But I had delayed for a week, and I was on the verge of losing that job, on the verge of losing it, because I was dreading picking up the phone, because I thought he might say no. So when you recognize that maybe it's the outcome you're dreading, then you can begin to challenge that belief. Is it really true? This outcome you're dreading, is it really true? But you're never going to get to that point if you never get to the bottom of it. So I wanted to reiterate that point, because like I said, it's crucial, really crucial. I find anyway, crucial. But disciplining yourself to do what you say you're going to do. What is discipline? Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and you follow it through. So if you give yourself a command yesterday to say, tomorrow I'm going to do such and such and such, and you don't discipline yourself to do it, then you're going to keep procrastinating. And one of the ways that we can discipline ourselves actually is to maybe set smaller targets for ourselves and then get small wins. Yeah, so get small wins under your belt. So just challenge yourself in a little way, not something that is completely within your comfort zone, but not something that is tasking either, because that way you begin to develop your discipline muscles, because it's transferable. It's transferable. So if you discipline yourself to be able to go jogging for 5 minutes in the morning, that same resolve that allowed you or enabled you to do it is what you're going to carry into your job. So begin to set maybe smaller tasks for yourself and overcome them. That's going to build your discipline muscles so you can carry it into bigger tasks. But you are going to have to develop those discipline muscles. So number 5, I think it is, you have to change the way you think. So I was talking about this idea of dreading the outcome because we've projected into the future, we've gone into the other person's mind and we've given them the answer that they're going to give us. And even as business owners, we do that sometimes. We creep into people's wallets and determine how much they're willing to pay for our service, and then we decide, oh, they're not going to be able to afford it. I don't know if you do that. You don't reach out to a particular prospective client because in your mind they're not going to be able to afford what you're about to offer them. So you go into their mind and you make that decision for them, and you make that decision, then you come back into your mind and say, actually they're not going to be able to afford it, so let me not bother. I can't even reiterate enough the importance of watching what we think, because thoughts are things, right? Thoughts are things, and the results that you're getting in your life right now is an indication of what you're thinking. So if what you see in your life right now you're not happy with, then you need to be changing how you're thinking, because how you're thinking is a direct reason why you're procrastinating. How you're thinking is directly affecting your resolve to take that step and to do that thing, whatever it is you're procrastinating about. So you're going to have to change your thinking. Again, a coach will help you, because I said before, you cannot see the picture when you're in the frame. And sometimes we have mindsets that we're not even aware of. We've just grown up with it. It's programmed. We're just grown up with it. That's our default. And it takes somebody from the outside looking in to be able to point it out to you, to say, do you realize that you always default to this? For some people, the default is, I don't have the money. For some people, the default is, I don't have the time. People just default to this behavior, this pattern of thinking, this pattern of behavior that does not serve them. That does not serve them. So if that belief, that thought does not serve you, you need to discard it. But you're going to absolutely have to change the way you think. Number 5, highlight the consequences of your procrastination. Okay, so highlight it. When I say highlight it, get your highlighter out and shade it and really make it bright yellow. So I'll tell you what this will achieve. You see, because a lot of the time when we're doing stuff, it's on the subconscious level. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, do you know people have gotten their stuff, their house is repossessed because they didn't do what they were supposed to do? Some people, it was just a question of writing a letter to the lender, and they procrastinated and procrastinated. Seriously, I've had real life cases of people come to me where matters were taken to the county court just because they refused to engage the lender in conversation or in correspondence. And when you ask them, oh, I was going to do it and then this happened and that, and I'm like, what? But if you actually sit down one day and wake up and say, you know what, if I don't write this letter, this is what could happen. Okay, the lender will get frustrated because they've written me 10 times now, and they will think I'm avoiding them, and then they're going to put in a claim to repossess my property. I'm going to lose the property. They're going to sell it for whatever they can get from it, meaning I'm going to lose equity, and I'm still going, if they sell it at negative equity, I'm still going to be owing them money. I'm going to lose my home. So yes, spell out the consequences of your procrastination. My boss is going to tell me off for the 10th time for getting my report in late. I might even be losing my job. I might be facing disciplinary proceedings because of this. So really highlight the consequences. Think it through. Play it out. Don't just go from day to day thinking, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And you've forgotten that you've been saying I'll do it tomorrow for a week. A week. A week is a long time to have done something and that you should have done and then you haven't done it. So really highlights the consequences, the negative consequences of your procrastinating. This is basically putting everything out, or putting out the cards and just facing reality rather than sweeping it under the carpet as if it's insignificant. Number 6, focus on your why rather than the task. Focus on your why rather than the task. So why did you want to start jogging? Because when you're procrastinating about going jogging, the reason is because you're thinking, oh, I have to wake up, oh, I have to get out in the cold, oh, I have to. You're focusing on the task, right? So instead of focusing on the task, focus on the reason for the task. Why do you want to stop eating chocolate? Why do you want to stop eating so much cake? Why do you want to record that video? Why do you want to create that course? Why do you want to write out that lesson? Focus on the why, i.e. the benefits. The benefits. Because if you only focus on the fact that you need to go jogging every morning, that is going to drain you. It's going to drain you. And that is what procrastinating does. It drains us. It drains us. So you think about it. Oh, I need to. Because you know you need to. So you're thinking, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. And the more you think about it, the more it weighs down on your mind. Oh, it becomes a burden. It becomes a burden. I need to do this. I need to do this. And then you don't do it. And tomorrow it becomes even a heavier burden. And that's where this law of diminishing intent sets in. Because the heavier the burden, the less eager you are to want to lift it, because it just becomes a heavy load. I remember when I was in uni. Okay, when I was in uni, we didn't have washing machines to do our laundry for us. We had to do it manually. And I remember this vividly because I would have loads, a pile load of dirty clothes that I needed to wash. And I would say to myself, okay, this Saturday I'm going to wash. I'll start saying that to myself from last Saturday, from the previous Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm going to do my laundry. Next Saturday, I'm going to do my laundry. On Sunday, I'm thinking about it. Oh, I have to do my laundry on Sunday. Monday, I'm thinking about it. Oh, laundry on Saturday. On Tuesday, I'm going to think about it all week. And believe it or not, Saturday comes, I'm going to pack all my pile of laundry to the laundry room. And I'm going to sit there staring at it. And by this time, I am tired from doing the laundry that I have not even started. Because in my mind, I've been thinking about it all week. But trust me, I'm sure you know I'm not going to lie to you. At the end of the day, I pack all those dirty clothes back to my room and I don't wash a single thing. Because I just get drained from the thought of even doing it. But you know what? If I had just done one a day, I probably would have gotten to the end by the end of the 2 weeks. If I had just done one a day, or if I had focused on the benefits. So focus on the why. The benefit of wearing that new size 6 dress, perhaps. Whatever the benefit is, whatever the why is, focus on that rather than the task. That will definitely help you get going. So number 7, diarize, obviously. So this is more practical. Put it in your diary. We live in a busy world. Please don't tell me you will remember. Don't tell me you trust your brain. Don't give me that. We live in a busy world. Not only is it busy, it's full of distractions. Full of distractions. All you have to do is pick up your phone. Maybe you even want to put a note on your phone for something you want to do tomorrow, and a notification pops up. You think, let me just check that quickly. And very quickly you get distracted. So put it in your diary. If it doesn't get in your diary, chances are it will not get done. Put it in your diary and discipline yourself, like I said, to stick to your diary, stick to the to-do list. It's pointless sitting down thinking about, okay, what's urgent for today, what's important for today, and then making your list for tomorrow and then not sticking to the list. It's all a pointless exercise, isn't it? So put it in your diary. And when the time comes for you to do it, just do it. Just do it. Get on with it. I think it was Brian Tracy in his book, Eat That Frog. He said, say to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. I can't remember how many times he said to do it. Morning and evening, do it now, do it now, do it now. So this is going back to reprogramming our minds. Do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. Just say that to yourself maybe 30 times in the morning and 30 times in the evening before you go to bed. And before you know it, your default for anything you need to do is going to be do it now, do it now, do it now. It's not going to be easy for you to put it off anymore. So that's a really good exercise I'm going to encourage you to do anyway. So number eight, set realistic goals. Okay, set realistic goals, because obviously if you set a goal that is unrealistic, you're going to feel overwhelmed by it, and then you're not going to do it at all. So make sure it's realistic. Make sure it's realistic. When you're setting your timetable for when you're going to achieve this task, make sure it's realistic. So even if you have to do it over a period of maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, set realistic timelines is what I'm saying. Set realistic timelines. So you don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself that prevents you from even getting started. Because getting started is the difficult part. Anybody that procrastinates knows getting started is the difficult part. Because even with me, with those 38-page leases that I don't want to get going, the minute I get into it and I start to just get into the work and start to read it, start to make my notes, start to note down the things I'm going to raise inquiries on or the things I'm going to advise the client on, I just get on with it. So once you get started, it's easier to get going. That's the getting started is the difficult part. And when you set too tight deadlines that becomes very difficult for you to achieve, then you put unnecessary pressure on yourself and you don't even want to start because you think, oh, I'm never going to achieve that. So be realistic in the goals you're setting and in the time frame you're giving yourself to get it done. Number nine, verbalize your intention. Verbalize your intention. Say it out loud. Declare it. Declare it to a trusted friend. Declare it to a trusted family member. If you have nobody that you can declare it to yourself. Declare it to yourself, because we talk to ourselves every day anyway. The question is, what do we say when we're talking to ourselves? So declare your intention to yourself. Verbalize it. Don't just think it. Verbalize it. And then write it down. Write it down. It's so important to write it down. Because the way I see it, when you write it down, because the other day I was scheduling something in my calendar, I think, or my to-do list, and I put the date and it was 2021. And I thought, wow, 2021 is here. So the minute you write something down, it just makes it a little bit more real. Is the first tangible form of that dream, that goal, whatever it is. It's no longer just in your mind. It's now in written form and it's more tangible. So verbalize it, say it out loud, because it solidifies your commitment. It strengthens your commitment to it. Because if it's just in your mind, it's like it hides away in there. It just kind of hides away in your mind and it's easy for you to escape it. But if you voice it out, and that's why sometimes people don't want to say what they're thinking of doing, because they don't want to commit to it. So say it. I'm going to do such and such by such and such. Say it to yourself, say it to somebody else, if you have somebody trusted that you can say it to. I really hope this is helping you. If this is helping you, put your comments so I know that this is helping you. Okay, that would really, really help me and encourage me. So I have one more point that I'm going to share with us before I finish. Praise your progress. Praise your progress. I don't think we do that often enough. Praise your progress. And when I say praise your progress, I mean do it actively, not passively, not just saying, oh, thank God I did that. No, say to yourself, wow. So usually I would procrastinate on tasks like this for a week, But since I determined to begin to deal with procrastination in my life and to handle it, wow, look how far I've come. Look how I handle this procrastination. Really just reaffirm that. Reaffirm that. It's important. Reaffirm that. But by telling yourself that you overcame procrastination, it's going to be easier for you to overcome it tomorrow. So when you find yourself procrastinating tomorrow, you're going to know, okay, this is time for me to overcome. I did it before, I'll do it again. So praise your progress. We're very quick to be hard on ourselves and to be tough on ourselves, but we're not quick enough to give ourselves credit. So praise your progress. So those are 10 tips. I hope I didn't miss out any. 10 tips that I really believe they're really simple. I'm sure you'll agree. They're really simple, but you know what? Life is simple. The most important things in life are simple, simple things. It's not a question of not knowing what to do most of the time. It's not doing what we know. So you might be there thinking, oh, I knew that. Oh, I've read that before. Of course, that makes sense. Oh, of course, that goes without saying. Okay, have you been doing it? Have you been putting it into practice? Because it's what you put into practice that changes your life. It's what you actually practice that brings change. It's not what you know. Most of us will mentally agree with things, but you don't do it, then it's pointless. It doesn't give you any benefits. So these are really simple practices. The more you practice them, the better you're going to be at implementing them. So I want to encourage you to really just take them. Maybe there's some that are really easy peasy for you. Maybe there's some that you find a little bit more challenging. Just decide whichever you find you need to work on. Decide, I'm going to start to do this, and just start to do it. I know it will help you in overcoming procrastination. I know it will if you will put it into practice. But I want you to give me feedback. Give me feedback. If you start to put this into practice and you start to see the results, I would really love to hear from you. Because the reason I come on Future Fit every Saturday is to help you get ready for your future, to empower you to seize the opportunities, deal with the challenges perhaps that the future will hold. So for me, the reward for me is knowing that it's actually helping you. So if you come back to me, either by putting a comment on this post or sending me a message on Messenger or whatever, just get back to me and let me know this is helping you. I will really, really appreciate it. So before I end today, I want to just remind you of this event, Influencing the Outcome. Influencing the outcome, living life by design, not by default. So if you want to take the lead, if you want to be more causative in your life, if you don't want to just wait for the effects, but you want to live life more on the cause side of that equation of cause and effect, if you want to be more proactive and more intentional in how you live your life and how you influence the outcomes, i.e. the results that you get in your life. If you want to be a more active participant in the results that you're getting in your life, then this is for you. This is for you. I run this usually probably about twice a month. Details are on the screen. The website address is influencingtheoutcome.eventbrite. It's a 1-hour call. It's a free call, but just trust me, the information I'm going to share with you on this call is absolutely going to transform your life. So I want to encourage you to do it. Sign up for the next call, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much for joining me. Next week, don't forget, it's our keynote concert with Judith Baker. And like I said before, I'm going to have a real sneaky surprise for you as well. So make sure you join us on that call. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday, 2 p.m. GMT. Take care. Bye-bye.